Materials are circulating online suggesting that the domestic defense industry is preparing to introduce another innovation into the Iskander missile system's arsenal, most likely a significant replacement for the baseline 9M7-3 missile. Let's start today's discussion with some background. The year is 2019, and global media outlets are reporting an interesting yet seemingly routine piece of news. North Korea has tested its latest missile system, the Hwasong-11. This news was considered routine because North Korea was frequently testing new systems at the time, as it still does today. However, the Hwasong-11 stood out due to its striking resemblance to Russia's Iskander short-range ballistic missile system, specifically its key missile, the 9M7-3. Visually, the two missiles are nearly indistinguishable, especially from a distance. However, the North Korean variant doesn't have a range of 500 kilometers, it can fly almost 1,000 kilometers. Western analysts dubbed it the KN-3, and despite initial speculation about Russia allegedly leaking technology, interest in the missile faded quickly. That is, until 2023, when it once again made headlines, this time due to its supposed connections with Russia. Yes, this is the same missile that North Korea allegedly supplied to Russia as one of its first deliveries. Whether this is true or mere speculation is not the focus here, but the Western or South Korean publication Military Watch magazine claims that the KN-3 prompted Russia's defense industry to develop a replacement for the 9M7-3, informally known in Russian online discussions as the Iskander 1000. According to this publication, which cites multiple sources, Russia is already close to mass production. Now, let's move on to the details. What makes the Iskander 1000 noteworthy? As you might guess, the main change is in its range, which is roughly estimated at 1,000 kilometers. Why roughly? Because the number is somewhat ambiguous, serving as a general benchmark. For example, after the collapse of the INF Treaty, an interesting event occurred. Without going into too much detail, the 9M7-3 was reportedly tested and flew nearly 700 kilometers, despite its official range being 500 kilometers. The likely reason was a lighter warhead, which extended its range by an additional 150 to 200 kilometers, making it a noteworthy case. Following this logic, the Iskander 1000 could potentially reach 200 or even 500 kilometers if equipped with a lighter warhead. But the question arises, does this extended range serve a purpose? What's the point of a 300 kg payload that can travel such a distance? In practice, there is a fairly broad list of targets that such a warhead can effectively engage. This is particularly relevant for underground fortifications, which can be difficult to strike by other means. Additionally, the missile's conventional flexibility could conceal the capability to carry specialized warheads, especially if a conflict escalates. This is a crucial factor as the U.S. plans to deploy medium-range missiles in Germany starting in 2025. Striking them with pinpoint accuracy may not always be feasible. However, even a conventional warhead could prove useful. Military Watch magazine claims that the Iskander 1000 has enhanced accuracy, meaning there is less need to compensate with a larger warhead. Furthermore, many existing missiles with 300 kg warheads have demonstrated high effectiveness. Examples include the KH-59MK2, KH-69, and P-800 Onyx. Finally, why are such missiles needed, especially in the context of the current confrontation? Let's take the example of a hypothetical underground bunker. This is a difficult target to neutralize with existing weapons. Why? The answer is simple: the adversary has relocated command centers deeper into its territory, increasing the required missile range and flight time. The Kinzhal missile could handle this, but there's a catch: the enemy is almost always aware of its launch, as its carrier, the MiG-31I, is constantly monitored by satellite reconnaissance. At present, there is little that can be done about this. The Iskander 1000, however, differs from its airborne counterpart in one key aspect: its extreme stealth. It can remain on standby for days, ready to strike at any moment. If intelligence confirms the presence of high-value targets within a 1,000 km radius, the updated 9M7-3 can be launched immediately, no need to prepare an aircraft for takeoff or gain altitude. Additionally, the modernized Iskander will be far more effective against forward-operating air bases, most of which are currently beyond the reach of the standard 9M7-3. Previously, subsonic cruise missiles were used for such strikes, but as practice shows, this approach is not always effective due to their long flight times.